about you? Yeah. What is it that people notice about you, honey bun? Okay, shit. One card already came out before I started, too. So we got stability and distractions. This one came out in the first reading, too. I'm going to do 3 of these readings. So, people so far, they notice that you are... Oh, wow. Okay. You're very stable. You probably got your ish together. And it seems like people use you as a distraction, or they get distracted by you or something. They can have their head up in the clouds, just kind of daydreaming about you. Oh, wow. Oh, that's water. That's not clouds. I was like, what? This is giving like the ex that got away, that people really always wanted to really be with, but you know, deep down inside, it was something like you intimidated them. You know what I mean? The ex that got away, the one that got away. Wow, that just came out. So the one that intimidated them is what I was saying, is this just dropped out, metamorphosis. So it's like you are intimidating to a point. They notice that you're intimidating and that you spark change in any situation that you enter, you know, and whoever you are around, they are inspired to change and be better. So that's why it's like you're so intimidating to these people, because it's quite clear that you're somebody who's willing to evolve into whatever you have to be in order to get to that money, in order to get to that paper, in order to get to that stability, that peace, or whatever it is that you want. This is giving like White House with this white around, or just like a house, a stable home, a nice home or whatever. It seems like you're willing to face whatever you have to do, any traumas, any situation, any scenario that is thrown your way. And that's why you change so often. You know what I mean? It seems like you're intimidating because you're ever changing, and when somebody feels like they have a grasp on you, they end up noticing they fucking don't. They're still light years away from really getting to know you, because as they're trying to catch up to you, you're still evolving. And it's not that you're like on anybody else's journey. You're not trying to one up somebody. You're not competing, you know. How can you win if you're not even in... How can you lose when you're not in competition is what it's giving. Okay, you're in a path of your own, and people can't put a finger on you because the whole time they're competing with you. They're not playing their own game, so of course they're losing every time. Journey, see what I mean? You're on your own personal journey, and it's like literally personal to you to a point of like you probably can't even put your feet on it. You are so, like I said, ever changing, evergreen. What else do I need to talk about that? Look at that. That's interesting, because those are the 2 cards that have 2 pink. That's interesting. 2 pink things in both cards. You're somebody who's willing to take a gamble on certain things and take risks in your life, and people see that. People see that you are very fun, or you're going to be living a very fun, loving, free life. When I get this card, I think that you're going to find your person too. Whenever I see this, it emphasizes just 2 people or 2 things popping out of the background. They're like, I literally always get with this card like a power couple, or if it's not a couple, just some sort of power 2 people. Still a couple, but maybe if it's not romantic, whatever, you get it. Basically saying like you are somebody who's willing to take a gamble on certain things, and they can tell that you are going to find your community, your person, or whatever like that in life, because you evolve so often and you take chances to get to the things that you want. You know, and that's probably why you give this, the one that got away type of ex vibe, because they see like, damn, if I could have evolved and could have stayed 10 toes down and really like stayed mature and was like going through the whole journey with her, we could have been something as strong as this power couple or whatever like that. So it leaves like a bittersweet taste in people's mouths when you leave them, because they know that you are very fruitful wherever you go. You know what I mean? You're willing to take chances on things, roll the dice on something new, and you're just a fun loving person. You genuinely are, you stand out amongst the crowd. And people see that. What else does we collectively hear? What else is it about you that people notice? Your dad said all the things that you want in this life. You have no problem with figuring out what it is that you want and actually being like a straight shooter to actually getting it. A lot of other people will sit back and, people please their way through life or lollygag or complain their way through life, knowing damn well that they're not going to do nothing, or they claim they have such big dreams, but they don't do anything to accomplish them. You're not that type of person. You're somebody who's going to get up. You're going to take chances. You're going to stumble, fall, tumble, and keep getting the fuck back up. That's the thing that people can see about you, is that you are just somebody who's so dead set on winning, on winning. And with that mentality, of course, you're going to win because, again, you're able to take the chances. You're willing to change the approach, change who you are, and do whatever it is to mend into this new box that really gets you to being the star of the show, of your own show. Ultimately, you're the star that shines the brightest in the room because you have done the work. You know what I mean? You not only done the work to get to accomplishing, but also to get out of your own way. One last card. To get out of your own way in order to evolve into the most aligned version of your highest self. And that's what's making you so attractive, so noticeable too. This card, after I was just doing all that shuffling, was at the bottom of the deck when I first started, and it's still at the bottom of the deck. So that says a lot. From this card, I always get, and that's interesting confirmation at the bottom, underneath it. This card to me reminds me of people doubling back. You might have a moment of people reaching out to you again, like these exes. Even if they're not reaching out, they might be they might mess up and like one of your pictures without trying, and you still see the notification or whatever. Or either on TikTok, they might think that you can't see when they check your page, but whole time you definitely see it and you clocked it. This is what that card gives me. This card says hello again, recycle. It's giving double back energy of oh, I miss her, or people. You might feel in the ethers of people wanting you back or longing, a feeling of longing. And that's what may come with, lurking, and somebody that could be, they might actually approach and actually reach out. Who knows? But there's definitely somebody lingering in your field who misses you and who really wish they would have tied the knot and taken things seriously with you. That was at the bottom of the deck, and what really actually came out though is joy. But too bad, so sad, because you're already on your own journey. You know what I mean? You're on a journey that's on the up and up. So it's you are always changing. So what comes with that is detachment. You're somebody who's able to detach from what used to be, and these other people who's observing you are not. They're used to being stuck in the past. They're used to longing over things that they ruminated through their mind, but they never acted on. But you're not somebody like that, because you actually take a chance on these things. So that gives it ample opportunity to clear out of your mind when you've tried and it showed you that it failed. It gives you more detachment when you actually show up for the thing, instead of just thinking about what if I did this, what if, instead of going out and trying it yourself and seeing, it's better to be proven wrong or to be declined or to have failed, because that's your proof right there. That's literally the results that you needed. It's better to be in a failed result of like, okay, I tried and it didn't work out, rather than wondering, wow, what would happen if I did this or if I did this. You get me? So that's what's making you be more of a happy person, a happy camper, because you're frolicking through life with this level of detachment and, a good balance of detachment and attachment. Because when things are set in stone and when it's time for you to do said things, you have no problem with doing it. And that's what brings you joy. But what's also subconsciously bringing you joy is the fact that you can detach from things that clearly don't serve you. A lot of people suffer in this ruminating cycle because they have things that they wish they would have done and actions they wish they would have taken or said, but because they didn't, they're stuck in turmoil and in sorrow for not doing anything. But you're not like that. So that's what's making you be a fun-loving person or whatever. You could also be coming off kind of aloof, like somebody who's like detached in a negative way of emotionally, or they feel like that. But that's only because that's what they see, and that's what other people, of course, the whole thing is what they notice about you. That's what they notice, but little do they know they're picking up on their own energy. It's not that you're genuinely you're not a non-emotional person. You're just, when things play its part in your life, you have no problem with leaving it where it's at. And that's a good trait to have, honey bun.